There we go. That should fix it. Let's see. On more SF. And I have 17 more missions on this booster. Uh, I've got 5 hours and 14 minutes until they run the update, I think. That's probably being optimistic. And then after that, what do we get? We got a new nation. I should probably read the thing. Can I do this? Nope, I can't do that. Fire and ice. What does this actually do? No, that's the battle pass. Next battle pass. Oh yeah, I wanted to buy that because I honestly, oh yeah, I'm very happy that BT42 looks to be like it's going to be a non-premium. Oh, the Moffat's getting a change. The USS Frank Knox Premium Gearing Class. Wait, what gearing class? Oh, the ship I don't have. It is effectively looks to be something similar to a Sumner. Preview. Yeah, it looks very similar to a Sumner. Except it can't rotate this full turret a full 360 like the Sumner can. Yes, that's one of the nice things about the Sumner. All three guns can point forwards. You can't fire the rear gun forward, obviously. Oh wait, maybe it can. It looks very much like the Sumner. But anyways, the rear gun can point forward, which means when you transition from left to right, it doesn't have to rotate a massive amount around the backside. It can just lift the guns up over the deck and then point it to the other direction. So I guess it can do that. So the gearing's getting a premium version, which will probably go like here or here. Plenty of space still. New rank 3 destroyer. The cost is... They're upping the GE cost of the Moffat. But they've made research point... Yeah, they've made the problem worse. They've made the Moffat more... Oh, yeah, they're taking advantage of the fact that people are doing this scummy bot thing. Rather than stopping the bot thing, they're taking advantage of the fact that it's going to ooh, I haven't watched any news about this thing, but I'm sure this announcement got some people very riled up. I don't play Naval very much, so I don't really care. And usually when I'm playing Naval, I'm doing it for a specific goal. So in all honesty, having bots that aren't supposed to be bots doesn't actually hurt me that much. In fact, it kind of makes things easier because they're not the brightest, because again, they're bots. But yeah, that change to the Moffat means they're going to make more money off people buying the Moffat to do bot things, and they're going to give the people doing bot things an even better time. Admittedly, it means I might very well use the um, bot program less, since they're just going to since they'll be able to get the research points faster, so there might be less bots technically, but it also could incentivize more people to do it probably. Yeah, it's just a gearing class. These premiums aren't really special because they don't really offer much. Like, I think the most you'll get is an improvement to the anti-aircraft armory. One sec. A Moffat matches... Oh, matches the... what class is this? Yeah, it's a Porter class, so it's a Porter. 4 turrets, obviously, yeah. 2 1.1 and 5 oil account. Yeah, so it ups the anti-aircraft armament because those are small enough and not well recorded enough that you can get away with adding more of them. Uh, and that's in real life. They would occasionally they'd manage to acquire extra guns and just slap them on because they never had enough anti-air. And so uh, the way they make the premium is they take they find a Porter class that had more guns, anti-aircraft guns than standard, and they use the version of it that has those extra guns and say, here, this is what we're putting in the game. Despite that, the fact that the USS Porter probably also got extra guns at some point, but this one's probably has the stock guns that it was originally armed with, therefore making it worse for anti-aircraft purposes. Of course, it's also a Porter, and they have some really good anti-air with the main cannons because of course, it has VT shells. Let's see. And so, but then there is also things like the Helena, which is a Brooklyn class. I do not believe, you don't have a Brooklyn class. Pretty sure. These are all, all the tech tree ones are the name ship, whatever it is. I don't remember the name. And so they all match the name. And so the only reason premium ones don't match the name, hence why you get a Brooklyn class USS Helena, and they're probably either historically significant, and so they look neat, and so they're people get them because they're like, oh cool, I want to be on that ship, or they are handpicked to have for one specific ship which has specifically better armament that is historically plausible. Anyways, on to more news. Because I saw news earlier that was there. Oh, season. Oh yeah. I remember now. I remember why I was willing to buy this battle pass. It has the A1D, I think is what they call it, or is it A1H? 81, something like that. A1H, and I saw the number of rocket pods on that, and decided that I need it. Oh, did they remove? Oh, I think they said that they put it all on the I think the article says that it's already on the wiki. Is it already on the wiki? Yes, season 9 is already on the wiki. Oh yeah, they're only doing 3 vehicles. So which one is the free one? Free. It's level 50 probably. 50? No, 51. Yeah, you get the Churchill Crocodile. So another fairly useless British infantry tank. Because the last time it was the Matilda one of the other times was the Matilda Hedgehog. Yeah, not particularly useful. Certainly historically interesting. I wonder how the flamethrower actually works, because I don't actually see any extra hardware on this Churchill except for the trailer. Which, ooh, that's actually interesting. A trailer is a mechanic they've never had before. I wouldn't expect them to use the Battle Pass as a testing ground, but that very well could be part of it. Oh, the Zippo is a USA Rank 3 Premium. Interesting. Not particularly useful. Yeah, the A1H. Where does this link go? Oh, here we go. We got a page. A1H Attack Aircraft USA Rank 4 Premium. Yeah, they're not kidding about the huge payload. This thing has more payload than like absurd things. I've found a couple aircraft that have more payload on the US tree at least. This PB4Y, it has more payload. The B-29, of course, has more payload. Wait, what the heck is a toilet bomb? I'm sorry, I got distracted by the thing. Let's see if the wiki includes. They have a wiki page for this already. Wiki.warthunder.com. We search A-1H. I doubt it. I don't think they have it on the wiki yet. Because the thing is, when they put it on the wiki, yeah, they don't have it. So here, let me show you what happens. Is they add this button, and of course, it's not actually implemented into the game yet, and so, yeah, it doesn't work. I'm trying to find an example of the payload, because I heard by word of mouth about one of the payload options, and it's just absurd. But I didn't actually ever check it myself. Oh, here it is. 3250. Okay, I think that's a little bit more reasonable. I heard like 30, I think I heard 30, 500s, which would be absolutely absurd. But that is a bit more reasonable. 30 times 250 is 7,500. Okay. Never mind. I was being angry. And so it actually can beat out. So that makes it so we had a few more planes that can beat it. So obviously, the B-17G can carry 8 1000s or 4 2000s. And likewise, oh, wait, what? Oh, wait, this is the B-29. I was trying to look at the B-24. It's like, that doesn't sound right for the B-24. And it can also carry 8 1000s. Actually, we can, yeah, it beats out the A-26 B-10, which can, can only carry 12 actual 250s, but that's due to a lack of mounting places and lack of volume. You can actually get more payload with 500s, and if you cut these in half, you get 20 250s in terms of weight. So it's still not as much, and it's kind of crazy that a single engine aircraft can do that. But if you can go to the AM1 and you can load it up with 12 250s, 12? That can't be right. Oh, here it is, 14. Wait, how does that work? I have to actually look at this now because I don't understand how this works. Oh, it must. Oh, yeah, it just doesn't use this extra wing pylon when you go for the 12 and the 2000 option, which is actually the heaviest payload this can get. So the AM1 is just like it just carries so much more payload. It's really absurd, in my opinion, but that's what Gaijin decided it can do. So they say that it can carry 3 2000s, so I'd assume it'd be something like that. But what I'm really interested in is the rockets. That's why I like the 84 so much, is it gets 56 Mighty Mouse rockets at 6.0, which makes it one of the best, if not the best, ground pounder ever. Because at 6.0, you're not so high up in BR that there are jets everywhere that are going to instantly find anyone who's gone ground pounding. Because that's the issue with jets. You may have something absurd like here. We go here, modifications, 114, or A10. Wait, what? Oh, it gets Hydra's, not Mighty Mouse. So, 84. Still a lot, but not what I was trying to look for in the example. I know there's one with just an absurd quantity. You'll have to give me a minute to find it. I've saw it somewhere. Not that one, that's for sure. Secondary weapons. 114. Okay, maybe I've only ever seen 114 at once. Or maybe it's a different plane. It's probably a different plane. Okay, now I'm going in the... 114, so... Oh, I could have sworn I saw one with a crud ton more. Like... 400 or something stupid. Yeah, 76. Huh, it gets interesting. I wonder where those mount. Those rockets mount on that thing. This one... Well, here, Phantoms. I didn't want to go all the way up to the Phantoms, but yeah, 247 Mighty Mouse missiles. There's a lot, so you can ditch as many as you want into your targets, but you're also jets, so the maps are basically tiny because by virtue of the speed that you and the enemies are traveling at, and so if you go ground pounding, you will be found out almost immediately. You won't have time to, and especially since you're so fast and relatively immaneuverable, you won't be able to get more than a couple passes onto a target before you are ripped out of the sky by an enemy. Because of course, as ground pounding, you are not going to be fast enough or maneuverable enough to defend yourself. But with an 84 at 6.0, there are unfortunately now some jets that can get to you. But that are, like, they actually behave somewhat like jets, unlike a P-59, which of course is on your team. It didn't really matter with the P-59, but they've moved some German jets down there, which I very much disagree with. Yeah, so yeah, you can encounter the Cannon Dorado, but there's a couple. And by a couple, I mean, um, there's this 262, but I'm pretty sure they moved this, what's it called? Is this a salamander? I think it's called a salamander. This, I'm pretty sure, didn't used to be 6.0, and so you couldn't encounter it. And then there's a couple of 262s that are really high up, but again, they're early jets, so they're not fast enough to make the maps really small. And I think the maps also are just at the threshold of where they get to be really large with this thing. But you get 56 rockets. They launch in pairs, so you really only get like 28. But still, that's 28 things you can kill with rockets. That's a lot of pillboxes. And I saw this. In case you can't tell, the 84 is armed with 7 rocket pods. The A1D, A1H is armed with 12. What are these? These are very clearly not 7. I don't know the math for those hexagonal patterns, but they are 19. 19 pods. That's 190. Like I showed earlier, I can only find Phantoms with more rockets than that. This thing carries nearly as many rockets as a Phantom, and more than anything else other than the Phantoms. Maybe the premium? No, the premium A10 doesn't get any. So it's just absurd the quantity of payload this thing seems to carry. It has these funky things. I don't know what those are. You got 9 of these things, and then 2 of these. I don't know what those are. Wait, are those minigun pods? 9 minigun pods. Is that what I'm looking at? That's fucking absurd. And incendiary bombs. So this is carrying 9 of those and 2 incendiary bombs. And of course, being a new aircraft, it's almost certainly going to be introduced with its with the new weapon selector options. Wait, what the heck? Oh, that's what they mean by toilet bomb. What the heck is it? Okay, I need to actually understand this. Oh, it's sort of a joke thing. Um, from history. They literally strapped a toilet to the wing to a wing pylon and dropped it. A porcelain toilet. Okay, that's funny. Um, and of course, because that almost certainly means it's coming with a new weapon selector. Because there's no way they make a toilet make a toilet with the old design where you could where you didn't get the choice to select each pylon, because then you'd be stuck with a loadout where you just have a toilet. And that wouldn't be useful, and would just be annoying. Or you'd have a loadout with nothing but a toilet. And so, yeah, they have to have it has to have the new option. I'm actually very surprised that you don't have that one there. It's very odd. Oh, that's interesting. They're showing it with the air brake deployed on the ground. I wonder if it's actually capable of doing that, or whether it will behave like the 82 or 84. I'm gonna have to take the 84 and see if that was changed recently. Oh, the 84 test flights onto a carrier. Wait, no, I don't want to take off. I wanted to check. Yeah. Oh, interesting. They call the ground other mechanization. Because it's not the flaps that are in the way, or the wheels that are in the way. It is very much the ground that is in the way. It'd be interesting if the aircraft carriers could move around in the ways, but of course, they already have enough trouble with aircraft carriers eating planes. Oh, it is actually blocked. Gear up. Oh, interesting. They've changed it so that the air brakes are considered blocked by the landing gear. That's very interesting and very annoying. Because it used to be it was blocked automatically when you got to the ground. When you got close enough to the ground, it would automatically retract. Of course, that's really just dumb. I suppose if IRL they didn't have the ability to deploy the side ones and only the side ones, then yeah, it makes sense they can't add that feature. But I feel like they had to have made the air brakes deployable on their own. But yeah, I do hope that this feature is actually in the plane and gets given to the 82 and 84 that are in the tech tree. But anyways, I saw this and I had to have it. Um, anyways, yeah, I'm finally getting around to actually calculating how much payload these other planes can carry. I don't think this plane even has 250s as an option. Yeah, this plane doesn't even get 250s as an option. 14 500s. That's actually not as much as I thought. We double 14 to 280, and so this payload, this option, is actually worse than the A1D, but no A1H. But of course, this option, strangely enough, does not use the outermost pylons because the outermost pylons can be used for chaff. Oh, interesting, chaff pods. Without compromising the quantity, which means that if I go here and select the one just above it without the chaff, you'll see they just don't use the furthest out wing pylons, which annoyingly enough are used for the weapons. So if you go here, oh, wait, there isn't an option to. Oh wait, no, I favorited it. Yeah, you can see the outermost wing pods are used for either air-to-air missiles or chaff. So you don't get to you can either shoot at things or you can hopefully and stand it, or you can stand a chance at dodging missiles, and so it's just very annoying. This one very much needs the new design because then you could put chaff on one wing and rockets on the other, and aims on the other, and then you'd be able to shoot and dodge things. Of course, they only have something a stupid amount of chaff. Each pod only has 16. With this, I don't understand. It has chaff pods the size of larger than. Oh wait, oh that's not what I want to do. Customization. Here, these chaff pods are so stupidly large, but they only carry 16 countermeasures, and I think they're only chaff. You don't get flares, only chaff. Oh, so you might as well not carry them now that I think about it, because nothing uses chaff. Chaff has basically no effect in the game, because there's basically no aircraft that use radar missiles for the most part. At 10-0, I suppose there are fandoms and that technically have AIM 7s, but really, I don't think it matters that much. Usually, I seem to get hit by the other ones, but maybe I'm wrong. But of course, with this, anyways, of course, back to the A1H, which I'm looking at off screen. Of course, it has the new weapon selector, so you can fiddle with the payload to maximize the raw payload, which would only matter for base bombing. But you could do that. Let's see. It says 3 2,000 pounders. I have to assume these go on the pylon that has the bomb racks with 6 250s in the picture. And so 6 250s is only 1,500. So you could swap out those 6 250s for those 3 pylons of 6 250s for 3 2000s. And that would then leave you take 18, so that's 12. There are 12 direct wing mounts. And so that's 12 250s. And that is 3,000 pounds paired with the extra 2,000 pounds. Yeah, so So 9,000 pounds. In which case, 9,000 pounds beats out everything except what I initially said. The PB4Y, using naval mines, effectively carries 8 2,000-pound bombs, just like the B-29 carry. However, the B-29's 500-pound payload option is better. And so you have 40 500s. So that's 10. So 10 2000s. Math is hard. So 20. Yeah, divide this 40 by 2 to get the get it in 1,000-pound increments, and so you get 20 1,000 pounds, 1,000-pound groups. Whereas this thing gets 9 1,000-pound groups. So yeah, the B-29 handily beats it. Wait, what's the AU-1? Remember when it came out, this thing was marked as having an absurd payload? Huh. A 1,600-pound bomb. That is such an odd number. I'm pretty sure these are unique to the aircraft. I thought this thing got 3 2,000s, but it doesn't. Interesting. You still get some absurd quantity payload for what is effectively a fighter. Tiny Tims, 3 Tiny Tims. Oh, that looks amazing. Wait, how do you mount 3 Tiny Tims without running into the propeller? A1 preview. Secondary weapons. Oh, you can't select these to look at them. Test flight, can I select them in the test flight? Oh, nope, it doesn't show up. Anyways, we're gonna check out these Tiny Tims for a second. I don't understand how the middle Tiny Tim would launch without hitting the propeller, unless there's some absurd system. Yeah, I think you can only do it because Tiny Tims, if I'm not mistaken, yep, the standard 20 mils, but they have a lot of ammunition. That's a lot more. Oh, accidentally turned the engine off. Oh, they have a bunch of aircraft lined up on the ground for people who would like to try a strafing run and don't care about AI teammates. But yeah. Oh wow, that's a lot of. Yeah, I think they doubled the ammunition capacity by just sticking a second ammo box there. You can see there's a gap between the 2 ammo boxes, the original ones and then the extra ones. Anyways, I think I can launch a rocket now. Okay, oh, I guess it works. It's very hard to see, but I think I caught a glimpse of the rocket actually falling all the way below the propeller. Yeah, so the only reason you can get away with that is because rather than having a rocket rail, like the HFARs, I think, I had to go to a plane that I can actually change the configuration and look at. Modifications, it's already armed with HFARs, so just we go to customization. Yeah, so these, well, I guess they work the same way, which is probably why they suck for actually aiming. They have nothing that keeps them going straight. You drop them, and then they hopefully remain straight enough that when the rocket motors ignite a split second later, they still go the direction you aim them. Which is why it sucks to actually ground pound with HFARs against anything that's armored. They do have enough payload they can punch through some things, but you have to get direct hits with them, and that's basically impossible because, of course, they shit at aiming. But Tiny Tims are the same way. They drop and then ignite, which is why that AU-1's able to drop them and fire them under the propeller, because they actually will drop. Which is why you certainly don't want to spin upside down and try and launch the Tiny Tims upside down in the AU-1. Of course, IRL, I'm pretty sure there's nothing to prevent you from doing something dumb like that. And so it's very annoying that they don't let you drop bombs while your plane's upside down. Because in real life, there's nothing to prevent you from doing that. Which would allow you to do things like lob them straight up into the sky And then while you're pulling up, and even though you're technically upside down, because you're pulling away from them faster than they're starting to fall, then you should be fine. But no, Gaijin just said, nope, we're not letting you do that because we're smarter than you, and I'm just a computer program that is clearly smarter than the pilot. So what if we accidentally drop our bombs onto us? It's our fault for doing that, and we'll be like, oh crud, dang it, and then, but nobody would blame Gaijin for that. And maybe if they're an idiot and that has played when they that isn't new, and so they know that this system as it exists now was here at some point if Gaijin removed it, but they then blame Gaijin and say, why did you remove that? It would have saved me. And like, yeah, except now all the times where I'm trying to drop my bomb in a weird awkward position and I can't if they leave that system in there, so it should be I really don't think they should restrict when bombs can be dropped, because maybe very modern things can do it. Can say no, don't drop it. We're not going to let you drop the bombs because it would hit you first, but it's still just very annoying. Oh, apparently, yeah. So apparently the theme is flamethrower. Oh, the Zippo boat has flamethrowers on it. Ah, and while the plane doesn't have the A1H doesn't have flamethrowers, it has incendiary bombs, and so it's being considered there. So that's the theme for this one. I understand now. Anyways, I'm going to fill out the challenge list for this season. And so I go to the wiki page that lists all the challenges, copy all the text in that area, and we paste it into my calculator. And we let it extract all the data. Season 9, resources, resource page, data extraction. Okay, this feature, so this season is listed with American dates, which is convenient for me. Oh, nope, I don't want to do that. I want to paste that. Why didn't it not paste? Copy. Paste. There we go. And go back to the resource page. Date extraction. I am very confused. Huh. I think I got it. Oh, this is one that spans across the year, and so it always makes the it makes the timings funky. Um, what? That's not right. Um, I need to look at the original dates. What? Okay, I'm looking at one of the dates, and for the last timed time release challenge, not the ones you had to unlock, uh, the date selection is weird, very very weird. Of course they're using the European dates, which is very annoying because at one point they used American ones, and sometimes they use European ones. Very annoying. Anyways. So, tomorrow is the start of the first one. Makes sense. Okay, 2nd, 9th, 16th, 23rd. Wait, what? How's that math work? 16. Oh, no, wait, that is math. Got it. 23, 30. And then, oh, that's November. And so then 7th of December, 14th of December, 21st of December, 28th of December. And then 31 months and days in December. So, yeah, the 4th of January is when that one starts. Oh! They messed it up. Okay, I see how they messed it up. The last challenge is listed as ending on the 25th of December, even though it starts on the 4th of January. What likely it is I'm pretty sure that if you add 21 to 4, you get 25. And so they just forgot to change the date from 25 to from 12 to 01. And so that will fix it. So we can paste that back into the right place. Oh, nope, that's not what I want to do. There we go. And so I paste that in. And we make sure the formatting is correct. I think the formatting is correct. Then we go to resources and grab the name and the detailed name of what to do. Oh, and I forget that I reorganize it so that the do all tasks is in fact first, whereas they put it at the bottom, which makes some amount of sense. But for coding, or not coding, but arranging this, it's easier for me to do it this way. Do I really have to add the year? See what I did? I know I have the I have one of these crossed the year boundary already. Yeah. So if I just write the year onto the end of it, all the calculations work correctly. So we go here and we say 2022. Yes. Can I get it to just insert that? Oh, it's already inserted it. It's just not visible. Do I like it not visible? I don't know. Yeah, I think I like it. I don't mind that it's not visible. The calculations will now work if I change this, and I don't edit these, so should be fine. It's not like the values will ever change, so I don't care too much. Oh, these are being treated as 0 instead of what happens when I set them to NA, because these are the ones that are the unlocked ones. 0 and 0 special tasks. Yeah, and so nope. We have 4 hours and 34 minutes until it shows up, I think. Wow, okay. I've been doing this, just talking for way too long. I need to get into another match. So go back to Sweden. And we take her in. We have the L62, PVKV, M43 slash parenthesis 19. Let's say 62 or 63, and then right parenthesis. Oh, I got the slash wrong, and it was a 46. There was a 6 in there, but now I didn't. Yeah, so it's a PVKV M/43, left parenthesis, 1946, right parenthesis. Oops. Oh well. Anyways, I'm working on the APHE for this tank, and I could really use it. It needs that extra penetration, really. And, like, it's got a long gun, and it's certainly better than the US 75, but it's still only 193 mils, which I really don't understand how it does that, because look at the size of those shells. Those are so much longer than the US ones. I guess maybe the US ones are wider at the back where it expands, and so those shells are, maybe, and so they have a similar volume of propellant, but that just, I don't think they have that. I certainly don't remember them being that long. So this thing has an absurd amount of propellant as far as I can tell. Maybe it uses the less effective propellant. And the barrel is certainly longer than the US 75, so it's not like it should have issue accelerating at speed. Here, what's the muzzle velocity on these? 815. Sweden does not actually have any Shermans as far as I can tell, so I can't compare with a Sherman easily, but I have multiple runners, so I can just come over here and say wiki.warthunder.com, and then we search M61. I'm trying to find the ammunition, and it found. I found the cannon, because apparently the rotary cannon used in the US jets is the M61, and shit. I can't rotate for that guy. What's he doing? What's he doing? What's he doing? I'm not on the point. No, the point's over there, so he didn't know that. He hasn't actually noticed me. I think he noticed me. Puma! Fucking ground. Okay, we're at as high as I can get. Yeah, he hasn't noticed me at all. There we go. Gun unload and cannon breach. Wait, does he have smoke? How'd that happen? Well, I'm safe. I'm gonna go here and put a round into his ammunition. Apparently, I thought I was aiming for his thing. Puma, yeah, the Puma's over there. Okay. I was worried he died for a second, which meant something else shot him, because the only guy I've seen out here so far, I just killed. Anyways. I don't want the M61 20mm autocannon. I am looking for something that has an M61 shot. Let's not look for the M24 or the M3. The M24 I know for a fact has a lower velocity than standard for the M62. M61 shot. And I don't know about the Lee, but it probably could. So I'm going to go pull up the just bog standard M4. So, can I find ammunition values? Nope, that's not that. Yeah, penetration values for it. Yeah, velocity. Yeah, the M61 travels at 618. I almost have, like, an inversion. I'm at, that one fires 618, whereas this one fires 815 instead of 16. So, and of course this is the solid shot, so I don't actually know about the APHE. Maybe the reason it tends more technically is because it has the, what are you? Dead. That's what you are. I hate how volatile the ammunition is when it's for these small guns and anti-aircraft vehicles. It just feels like it shouldn't spread just quite so much. It always feels like it's, oh, I hit one round, and that round somehow detonates every single round. And really, when they're butted up end to end like that, if one round explodes, it's going to put enough velocity into its shell that it'll probably go there. Please don't notice me. This one. That one needs it. Thank you. Loader, no horizontal drive. I'm going to have a hard time with that. Let's get this guy quickly. Got him. So let's hopefully reload before that KV... That is a KV-85 I angered back there and didn't kill. But he's giving me a side shot. And I missed. missed it. I hit the ammunition and it didn't go off. Of course, it only ever goes off when it's inconvenient to me. When where do you end up? Where do you end up? Crud. I can't go through the lower glacis like the 76. I may be longer than the American 75, but I'm not got the same pen as the American 76. Or anything else for that matter. Let's head. Oh, there we go. That's a target. Gunner Loader, Cannon Drive. Cannon Breach and Turret Drive. There we go. I still don't know where that KV-85 went. I very much don't like that. If an assist, and of course, I now shot the other guy, so if I get an assist, I don't know for certain is the one that I am very worried about. What I need to do is I need to get somewhere they don't think I'm going to be. I'm going to back down a bit so I can rotate. And then I'm going to climb up this hill and sit here. If I can aim here, I can angle down an absurd amount, turn off the engine so they don't hear me here, and sit. I'm not in the spawn protection yet. Okay, and I need to remember that the scope is the sight is way up there. I really don't like this. I only have a Puma over there, and he's dealing, or attempting to deal with something over there, and I have no idea what he's going to do. Sounds like the British guy is moving up again. I noticed up on my tracks. Can he see me? No, I went to the hard right very early on. Oh, I hear the Russian. He dropped more smoke, and shit, he moved fast, and I am already conked all the way to the left. Let's rotate significant. Oh shit.
Attention to the designated grid square.
I can't shoot that guy. I need to get this guy. If I shot the British guy, this guy would notice me. There we go, got it. I wasn't sure I could pen that, but I can apparently, and even at some angle. Oh shit. Why couldn't it have been a little bit faster? KV-1, what? Is this 5? No, that's an L11. If he had been a little faster, he might have blocked the KV-1S, giving me enough time to point down and shoot him. But unfortunately, not in the cards. Today, let's go with playing with slightly larger anemic bombs, and hopefully I can bomb something with these. But again, they're anemic. If I don't drop them on somebody's head exactly, it doesn't work. Anyways, we're gonna pick up the M40, and yeah, go bomb somebody, hopefully. The M40 is the 250 kilogram bomb that actually only weighs 230 kilograms somehow. And then we're going to try and do something with these tiny 50 kilogram bombs, all of which contain basically no explosive. Yeah, you only get 106 kilograms of TNT, equivalent in the 250 kilograms, and only 9.5 kilograms of TNT in the 50 kilogram bombs. I don't understand how that works. There's just so little explosive. They're on the fucking point. Because we have an anti-air. The anti-air is the only one we have on the point, and we have an M4A2, which is honestly not bad. Which is only actually a pretty good thing. But he's not on the point because he's damaged and can't move. That is a Sherman Firefly with his... Sure, I did entirely the wrong direction. I don't like that plane. I do not like that plane. That is a, it's ITP. I thought it was one of the, like, an SU-6 or something or whatever. But no, that is an ITP. Who failed to kill his target. Now I'm just trying to find target. And trees. I'm Gaijin. Please go to your local not even college, local high school, and just sit in on one physics class, and you'd be able to make a better physics engine than this at times. When I collide with a tree that's on with my left wing, the plane does not magically pitch up. It should. This is one of the few occasions where the plane should start spinning on the yaw axis, like a freaking top. It does it plenty of other times when it's not supposed to, but when one of the few times it's supposed to do that, it doesn't, and it's very annoying. Oh yes, I forgot about the more boring part about setting up my spreadsheet. I need to copy the requirements. Let me go season 9. Quantity. Nope, no, that's wrong button. Paste. And then Google gets confused because I pasted it in, and it is very much... 80 is very much above that. Oh, because it's somehow treating it as not a number. So I have to go and delete, and then retype in everything, because Google did not accept it. Lovely. And then, of course, I have to actually process what it's saying and see if the numbers they put on the wiki are really the right numbers.
Attention to the map!
Because oftentimes they're not. They are often slightly quantity. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be a function. Huh. I guess not. I'll type it in. Why not? Not notes. Oh, the limits. The game mode limits. I don't have access to those until they release them in game. Because you need to look it up and see, like, some tasks would be super easy if you could do them in Naval or something, but they're very difficult outside of it, and so they don't let you get any progress in Naval. Of course. Set enemy vehicle on fire a certain number of times. I think that's in total. So you need to light 80 enemies on fire. That sounds agonizing, in all honesty. It's probably easiest to that's probably easiest in Naval, in all honesty, if it's allowed, because you get lit on fire all the time in Naval. I don't know what vehicle or ammunition to use in particular for that challenge, but it sounds easiest in Naval, so I just have to hope that it's available in Naval. Anyways, next one. 1 second. I need to expand the columns. Destroy or help allied vehicles. So, kill or assists. Specific number of... okay, you just need 250 kills or assists. Got it. Specific number of streaks. Okay, so that one I will mark as to do, as it requires knowledge of what streaks I need to do. I'm sure glad the match is over, because I'm not paying attention to where my thing is going at all, and I just noticed that I went over those rocks somehow. Anyways, receive specific number of streaks. You need to get certain awards, probably, and I can't tell what they are until they're available in-game to look at. Anyways, Hammer of Hephaestus. Play a specified number of battles while destroying at least one other vehicle. So, matches with, not worth, 1 kill. And then I make a note. Losses count. Destroy a specific number of player vehicles of another type of military branch. So, plane killing tank, tank killing plane, boat killing plane. plane killing boat. So, in all honesty, again, naval's probably the easiest one for this. Because, again, I play US naval. With US naval, all you had to do is um, get a destroyer with 5-inch guns, which will have VT shells, and wait for a plane to get anywhere close to you, and you can evaporate them with a VT. And once you have enough points, you can then go in your own plane and then bomb things. And, well, US attackers can carry quite a stupid amount of payload, which means you can kill quite a stupid number of people. So those are probably not hard. So kill tanks / boats. It's plane, kill planes with tanks / boats. Yep, so that should be right. But of course, it's also pretty easy on naval to do in ground, because then you just take an American tanks, get into a plane as fast as possible, and then you just take your Thunderbolt, drop 2 1,000-pound bombs, kill one thing, drop a 500, kill another thing, machine gun everything else, and you get probably 3 or 4 kills in your plane immediately, and then you just fly back to base and get more ammunition, probably, because you probably can. Anyways, I now have the APHE, which is nice, horizontal, or tracked, or something else. What do we do? I think filters are the first tier I can finish, because I already have everything else, and it's only 2,900. Whereas to get this one, it's 2,300 for 2 modifications, and this one's 1,900 for 2 modifications, and this one's even 3,800 for 2 modifications. So this is the first one that'll get me across. Nothing else in here is like massively game changing. This ammunition, game changing. Crew replenishment, game changing. FEE, game changing. Parts, game changing. But these two were just required to get to the next tier. But all this other stuff is nice. It does certainly help, but it's not like immediately you notice the difference. There are very few vehicles where those mobility modifications make you say, wow, this is an entirely different vehicle. I've completely noticed those modifications. They're usually just, you don't usually notice them until you take them off and you realize, oh wow, this thing really doesn't perform well. It really handles differently, and I've noticed that when using a second account. Crew? I could do crew training. I'm not going to. I don't feel like it. What was I doing? Oh, yes. Test drive. And we select the naval ammunition and get rid of the spare ammunition. And that should save. Yes, it does save. They fixed it, so it now saves this. You don't have to start the test drive. It'll just save it if you change it in here. That way, I don't have to change it next match. I always forget when it's like that, when I don't do this early. Anyways, the next challenge, I believe this is number 6, Wrath of Vesuvius. Destroy a specific number of ground or surface vehicles in air battles. Ground bound. In Air RB. I mean, you could probably do it in Air Arcade, but no. Just no. Air Arcade suffers the same issue that you have with jets in Air Realistic. The maps, but rather than having the planes be so fast, it's just that they are faster than they should be, but that's not the issue. The issue is the maps are also just so much smaller. And so you will be found immediately, and you will be shot down immediately before you can kill anything of note. And so it's just better to do it in Realistic with something like the 84. Can I show you why the 84 is why I speak so well of the 84? Ground kills. The 84 is 5,000 and nearly 5,100 ground kills. That is absurd. Just absurd it has that much. The only thing that even comes close is this, and it's not even halfway there, is the M4A2 in that second place. Not even halfway there. Admittedly, it's impressive in its own right, because that's a fucking tank, which means that I've killed 2,394 people rather than a slight fraction of these being people, because of course I do take the 84 into ground occasionally, and so it does have a few ground kills on actual players, but for the most part, these are just AI. And then the A26 is second place for planes ground kills, and and the B25 J20, the rank 3 B25 is significantly behind it. But it's there because occasionally you need a ground pound with a bomber, and it's one of the best options for that. It's absurd. It's just the sheer number of matches that give this thing the 5.56 million silver lions that it's gotten. It's just absurd. Anyways, so yeah, take something like the A26, the 84, and bam, you can get the 100 ground pounds pretty easily. Oh wait, I won't be able to confirm whether any of these requirement numbers are measured in the same way in a logical way until they're into the match. So tomorrow, shoot, I was gonna take into another. Yeah, I started the stream, and I don't think I've been in the game once. Oh yeah, I was in a game once on the stream, and I must be talking about my about the battle pass and the like. Receive a specified number of missions. Oh wait, I was gonna look at which. Oh yeah, I already looked. The crocodile is one you get for free, and it's not. It is neat, but I don't need the crocodile. I want the A1H. It's such a good looking. Well, it looks good, but it's such like just the features looks so appealing. Receive a specific number of mission points in each of the following modes: air, ground, and naval battles. Oh yeah, this one is definitely not right. This one needs to be adjusted. I just don't know what it is, and so I'm going to mark this as it needs to be translated properly later. It needs more attention. Just put a dollar sign in front of it to mark that I need to do something about this. Receive a specific number of mission points where the vehicles in the current season the battle pass. Okay, points in BP vehicles. So you basically need to play either your crocodile or your Zippo or your A1H. In all honesty, depends on whether I'm at level 50 yet with this one. If I'm at level 50, since I plan on buying it, I don't need to get to level 50 to start this one. If you don't buy it, you have to get to level 50, or actually 51, so you can get the crocodile, and then you have to play the crocodile. But the Zippo is much earlier, and so if you have the battle pass, you can start working on this as soon as you have the Zippo, and of course as soon as it unlocks. But the number on this is also almost certainly wrong. This probably is 20,000 rather than 20, but I'm not sure. And this one is probably 10,000, but times 3. It's probably 30,000. So I'm going to type those in as the values. I'm pretty sure they are, and I will mark them again that they need to be adjusted. And this one needs a new title because it's much too wide. The Fire Tornado, the previous one that I think thought was wrong values because you needed points, and it only said 10. But it's likely 10 multiplied by the air branches and then multiplied by 1,000 because they didn't want to write 10,000. They want to write just 10. Anyways, system of measures. This is the longest description. Destroy a specific number of player vehicles using ground vehicles, main weapons of various calibers. Okay, so use tiny gun. Oh wow, that's really tiny. Less than 35 mils. I think the only guns I can think of that qualify, it has to be the main weapons. Oh, interesting. I wonder if this suffers from the glitch. So admittedly, I'm not entirely certain this is real, but I've heard from friends that you can get that one Steam achievement, but how? Shoot down a plane with tank cannon in simulator mode. by switching control to the 50 cal on the roof, and then it counts that as the main cannon, even though it's not, but you're using it as the main cannon at the moment. But of course, it's a 50 cal. And then, of course, you have things like the M13, which the main guns are just 50 cal. Or there's the M15, where the main gun is, in fact, oh, that one, you may only be able to use the 37 millimeter. Those 50 cal might not be considered main armament, even though they're coaxial to the turret. And then of course the M16, those are 50 cal. Those 50 cals are again main caliber guns, of course. So anti-air are all considered main caliber. Does it restrict? Maybe it only restricts it. You have to be an actual tank rather than SBAA, but still, you can just switch to the 50 cal on top of almost any American tank and supposedly use that. I'm not 100% sure that actually works, but I've heard that it works. Yeah, I can't imagine using an SPA will count, because just take a radar guided SPA and you're good. But then again, the radar guided SPA are the only things that have these these surface to air missiles, and I've heard that using these radar guided manually controlled SAMs are considered will be considered the main cannon as well. So yeah, I have no idea exactly what counts, but long story short, is that to get that one, I've heard that you can switch to controlling the 50 caliber machine gun as the main gun, and that would count as a main gun for that achievement. So I'm wondering if the same thing would work for this battle pass task, but I'm not sure. But of course, then but regardless, you're going to need to use something like a 50 caliber machine gun on the M2A2, or you need to use a 20 mil on the L3, or most likely the ideal option would probably be almost any German anti-air, maybe the R3, or the Daka Puma, or the PZ2C Doc. Except no, these are limited by, these do have battle restriction, BR restrictions, which means you're limited to probably the Whirlwind. The Whirlwind will probably be the go-to option. Does it say you have to kill tanks? No, you can kill planes as well. So for the less than 35 mil, they're likely intending for you to use a 20 millimeter cannon on something like the M36 or the not M36, M163, or the Whirlwind, not the Ostwind. The Ostwind's a 37, and they're looking at 35s. So, the Kugelblitz. The Kugelblitz is unique in that it's got 30 mils. I don't know of anything else that has a 30 mil. So that could also be a good option. I might finally have to buy the Kugelblitz. I researched it, but never bought it. What's the Flak 341? It's a 37. The Qualian is a 34. It is a 37 millimeter. So yeah, your options are limited if you need to be ranked 3 or above. Again, you can, if the trick where you select the main select the secondary weapon as the main weapon, and that works, then that would work. The BTR-ZD, that's a 23 millimeters. So that would work as well. I know there's one around here somewhere. Up the ZSU 23-4, that also works. The Tunguska, and I'm pretty sure the Gepard. The Gepard. And those Gepard just fall in the second category because it is actually 35 millimeters, and it says less than 35. So you can anything 30. So 34, or it has to be 34 or less. Okay, interesting. The Bradley. The Bradley has a 25. So that would also work. And so that one is likely not 10 kills. You likely need 1 for each category. So 10 for each category. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So likely 50 kills. I have to mark this as there as so kills with guns less than 35 millimeters. 35. I would do a greater than equal sign. Greater than equals to sign alt code. Alt. Okay, so where is it? Less than or equal to alt 8804. Alt 8804. Nope, that didn't work. Alt 8804. Nope, that just types in a D. Does it work here? Alt 8804. Nope. Okay, insert. No, I don't want a function. I want. Is it in format? Oh, I can just copy and paste it. Less than or equal to. And so, what is the, and then, 260. So less than 35. I'm going to assume that it is still less than for 60 millimeters. Less than 60 millimeters. Let's do this. And then I also have to mark this for verification later because I could be wrong. And then after 60 millimeters comes 90 millimeters, and then 92. So 90 millimeter, and then 120. And then yeah, it's very iffy. I don't know exactly, because it seems to indicate that again it has to be greater than 120 and not equal to 120, but that'd be opposite of the pattern I've assumed since you had to be less than 35. Anyways, I'm going to select the gun tanks with certain gun sizes. Do I have to? I have to use tanks, right? I'm pretty sure I have to use tanks. I deleted that piece of text. Player vehicles using, yeah. Kills with tank, main, guns, and then of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sizes. So for strategy notes, less than 35. What do I want to use? Let's try 10 kills each. Yeah, I don't get kills with the 25 millimeter on the Bradley. It just doesn't happen. So we need Werble. Werble. It's not as good as it used to be. They significantly nerfed it. Or the Skink. I have the Skink now, I think. Right? Yeah, I have the Skink. Actually, modifications, penetration. I don't have the good ammunition, though. Which is a full belt of APT. I didn't realize I got that. So that's 42 millimeters. Germany, Whirlwind, modifications, 48 millimeters. It gets a little bit more pen, but it is Sabo. Not a Sabo, a PCR. I think Kugelblitz might be my best bet. Penetration 58 mils. Do I get? But I not bought it yet, so I'm fairly limited. Oh, 77 mils with the HVAC. Okay, Kugelblitz it is. I will have to buy the Kugelblitz. Kugel. And then the next option, from anything less than 60 millimeters. That basically means you gotta play with a 57. So the question is, do we play with a Russian 57 or a British 57? And that brings up an interesting question. What options are there? Is ASU, that's a 57, or the T-34 57? For the Russians, the British, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get around to playing anymore. We're just going to... Oh, nice. The YouTube includes timestamps on the chat, so I can actually tell how slow I am to respond to people. I am somewhat excited about it. It seems interesting. I guess it makes sense that they'd add new nations rather than trying to they want to avoid getting too close to modern, because if you're getting too close to modern, we're going to get much more of those tank leaks, which is very annoying. Well, I don't know. Have they really affected me that much? Well, it just seems stupid that that's happening. And so if we go too modern, we're going to get more of those, as people who do them are people who work on tanks are probably playing a lot of the people playing this game. Because you get the people who play the game because they like the vehicles but never going to interact with them, or people who play the game because they work on the vehicles and really like them, and they don't get to do enough silly shit with them in real life because, of course, that kind of silly shit would get you killed. And so they play the game for them. But shoot. So they're adding new nations in order to add more vehicles, but I'm not sure I really like that, because it just means, because they've added a lot of the big nation. They already have most of the big nations that actually invent new tanks. The U.S., Germany, USSR, and Great Britain, and Japan, Italy, and France have, for the most part, are the nations I can think of off the top of my head that seem to invent tanks, and a lot of them have dropped off after World War II because they were left fairly crippled in terms of military production, and so they just bought the surplus from the nations that weren't left as crippled. So hence why most of you got like Israel and a lot. One of their vehicles is a souped up Sherman, and they also have a French tank. But the French have, I suppose the French do still make their own tanks. I didn't really think about that one too hard, but yeah, they do mostly use their own tanks. So I was wrong on that one. But Italy, maybe I am wrong. They got some Fiats, but they also have a lot of things from other nations. And there's not really a copy paste. Yeah. No, I think I'm mostly wrong. They do have a reasonable number of things from other places. They got a Leopard. They got M26s and so on. So yeah, they have a lot of their own stuff. The O40 is, oh yeah, the O40 is Italian. But then you have these egregious ones like the Chinese tree, which is pretty much just copy and paste. It's copy and paste Russia, so I'm not too familiar with it, so I can't say it there. And they do change the names, but there's a lot of copy and paste on their part. Admittedly, you do get some things like the M41D, which I'm pretty sure is an actual M41 that has been changed, so it is actually different. But there is a lot of things that are very similar. And then, the Japanese still do make their own things after World War after the World War II vehicles. But they're much more limited, I think. And it's really the U.S. and USSR that are the big ones, and then Germany. Germany have their own things, but you don't really think of Sweden. Sweden and Israel are the I think the most. Well, I say that now, but they manage to find a lot of things. These Merkavas. Well, actually, these are all the same tank. I just noticed the entire line here, except for this first vehicle in the rank 6, is all Merkava. Like, sure, there are probably significant differences between the versions or something, but it's still just absurd that it's just Merkava, 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 and then these Magok, 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 and then this thing. And so, yeah, they do have their own thing, but then Gaijin milks that tank for ages. There are very few vehicles that don't have multiple versions on this tree, and in order to make this tree work. So yeah. Yes, Israel has their own things, but they have like a couple of their own things, and Gaiden just used a bunch of different versions that are slightly different in order to pad out their tree to be normal size. I just to say the Swedish do make some of their own things. This door wedge. But then again, some of these STRVs are direct, or if not direct, very closely related to other European tanks with just a name change. This looks like a Leopard, I think? I don't know. Don't know the Leopards very well. I mostly just shoot them occasionally. And mostly get shot by them. So I don't really pay attention, but this looks like some kind of Centurion. And I think it's just because they work together to make them. And so they made their own versions of a different model number. But yeah, this looks like a Leopard as far as I can tell. And so on. And so, while they technically have their own things, and it only comes in these light and cheap to make vehicles that are somewhat different. Because these were ones they could make entirely on their own, and they didn't have to share the development cost with another nation. So you get these PBVs, Panzerbondwagen. Those ones are somewhat unique. So I don't see adding new nations. I suppose there are actually a lot of different tank designs out there, but like you get here, and a lot of these tanks, as much as they look different, they really are just the same as the German ones. They've just changed the gun to something else, and in doing so, they've introduced one of the worst aspects in the game, in my opinion, because this tank is shit, and has a even worse gun than what the Germans put on it, I think. But but the Swedish kept using it for so long, they had to upgrade the ammunition, and had the opportunity to do so, and they did so, and now Gaijin has put it in the game, and so you get these stupid, tiny little things with 105 millimeters of penetration. That is absurd. I'm still very salty about this APCR, the APDS, at freaking 1.0 APDS. Excuse me. How, in what world does that make sense? Like, maybe they always use that in this specific model of tank. But I'm pretty sure they didn't. Because it looks to me like that M/31 probably is the date it was made. And so it had a gun. Oh, that can't be right, because it's got a cannon from 38. Well, that's just the refit from later, and so the tank was made in 31. They put a 38 cannon in when it was 38, and so on. And so this 43 was originally designed in 43, but then they made a version in 44, which is why I listed, and then they have a version for 46. Is it the same size gun? No, they've changed the gun size and so on and such. I'm not sure about that. This designation could be year, but it could not be. I'm not sure. But it's just very annoying that because if they go by the ammunition on this tank is from like the 60s or something, which is absurd that it's now fighting tanks from the 40s or earlier. And so it's just very annoying. I'm so very annoyed that these tiny dinky little things can now punch through the straight through the front of what is effectively a heavy tank at that BR, the M4A3 105. A reserve tank can now go straight through the front of this because they gave it some bullshit ammunition that it didn't get until like 30 years later. But I don't think we'll end up with that bullshit much on any other tech tree. I don't think anyone other than the Swedes was stupid enough to think that was worthwhile. But yeah, most of these nations have their own thing, but you get things like China that are show us that you can get nations that are almost entirely copy paste. The Chinese tree does not get its own vehicle until I'm struggling to find them. I think this thing. I don't think the Russians have this. I think this is technically their own vehicle, but only because they've taken a Russian vehicle and swapped the turret out. So it's still very close to a copy paste. Isn't. And I think this is technically. I just noticed Russia's the only one where their anti-aircraft line is way on the side, right? Yeah, everyone else has something else on the side. Huh. That's just an odd thing I just noticed. But yeah, the Chinese tree, and I suppose technically this is unique. But that's because they took their own truck and put the American 50 caliber turret on it, and so again, it's technically unique. But the main differentiating function of it, the turret, is a copy paste. This one is technically unique, but you've got the main body of the tank which is the differentiating part, the armor, is a copy and paste because it's just a T-34. This Type 62, I'm not sure. Could be a copy and paste. It looks very Russian. But I don't know enough about the Russian at this tier for me to be able to say definitively this is a copied Russian tank rather than a tank that is inspired by Russia. This is some kind of upgraded PT-76. I think it's something similar to the Object 906, 901, Object 906. It's somewhat similar to that, but different. So I think it might be something unique, but the design is so Russian that I can't tell. And so while they start to get their own things, yeah, so they don't have anything that is definitively unique until rank 4. Then they finally get something that's definitively unique. In that this Type 63, I do not believe is exactly like any one other vehicle. Certainly looks very similar to the PT-76. It looks like it's a PT-76 with the AI preview. I can tell there's an angle on it. I'm not sure about. Yeah, it's a PT-76. They put a different turret on. That's what it is. I thought this angle here was a straight and didn't angle down, and so I was thinking that it wasn't a PT-76 hull, but this looks like a PT-76 hull. It's got the same flaps in the back over these over those I guess thruster ports that it has, that I only just noticed it has. But yeah, it's a PT-76 with a different turret as far as I can tell, an 85 millimeter. So that is the first thing that again, it doesn't scream uniqueness. Again, with the Type 62, I'm not sure. Could be. And then, wow, I'm just looking at this and seeing how much is truly copy and paste. This is the first thing I can think of that looks truly unique. I don't think any other nation has something like this BTL-02. I could be very wrong. But yeah, that's a BMP. That's an M48. They didn't even change the name. And these look super Russian. Could be inspired, but also could just be, I'm not sure. I don't know off the top of my head which one it was copied from. That's a Gepard turret. That's just a Gepard turret on a different chassis. Again, M41. It's an M41 with extra bits to make it an M41D. Yeah, here's the other tank I was thinking of that looks similar to this PTL02, but it's also Chinese. Then there's this thing, which is basically the same as this, but slightly newer. And such. So, yeah, they really don't get anything definitively new that I can guarantee you is new in theirs until rank 5. So yeah, no wonder it's been called the fucking copy paste line. I didn't realize just how copy paste this thing freaking was. Um, yeah, so China shows us exactly what we want to avoid is just the same vehicles, but you can now form lineups with your ISU and your Sherman. That's not a good example. You can do that on the Russian lineup too. You can form an ISU and your trying to find the M36. You can put an M36 and an ISU on the same team. But that's basically all you can do is you can change which teams, and they could do that by just giving you a game mode where you could pick. Actually, no, that wouldn't be able to do the framework of the game wouldn't support having a game mode where you could select multiple nations. So never mind. But it's still just annoying that you can do that. Or maybe if they wanted to do that, you could just make an extra fake nation that just has all vehicles from all nations copy pasted straight into it, and then you could just say, and it would be restricted. You can only use that nation in one game mode, a game mode that is any nation versus any nation, and so on. But that'd probably be the easiest way for them to implement that. But it's just like, really, did you have to do that? And apparently, yes, it is. Oh well. It does give me the option of to get this LVT A4. Where is it? I think the Russians have it. Right. Yeah, the US don't get that one. Because it's got a Zis cannon. It should be somewhere. I thought the Russians had that. Is it not visible anymore? It's not on the tech tree, I know that. Huh. Guess it's not visible anymore. That's sad. Did I get a test drive for this at one point? Because I remember having it. Playing as it. So I must have gotten a test drive for the T-34, T-35 at one point. But anyways, I digress. Yeah, so I get to have this LBT, which is nice. I really, really, really want the LBT that doesn't show up here, that has the freaking 40 mil and stuff. That thing is really absurd. Regardless, I think I'm gonna call the stream here. I didn't actually get to play much. Because I kept talking about what I thought. Yep. I still got another 21 hours on that booster. So that should be fine. But yeah, I think that's it. Stream's over. Goodbye. Hopefully see you around.